This sport has helped me so much in my life. I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
There's a type of silence in heavyweight boxing that cuts deeper than anything else you'll ever hear. We're not talking about regular quiet here. This is that bone-chilling, suffocating moment when an entire crowd holds its breath after witnessing something absolutely brutal. 5 rounds in, and everyone's watching this content creator try to dance around a legitimate monster. Then round 6 arrives, and the monster decides he's done playing games. When Anthony Joshua's right hand finally landed, this wasn't just another punt. This was reality crashing down like a freight train. The counting echoed through that arena while all the confidence that built an empire crumbled into a genuine medical emergency.
My mom warned me not to fight Anthony Joshua. I should have listened to my mom. My dad pushed me to this. Now I'm around in the hospital. Got to eat liquid now. Anthony Joshua be ready for a rhythm.
Jake Paul lying motionless on that canvas is already boxing legend material. But what happened next shocked everyone in the building. While fans went wild celebrating Joshua's dominance, something darker was unfolding in Paul's corner. His team wasn't giving speeches about fighting valiantly or learning from defeat. They were frantically checking vitals with shaking hands as paramedics rushed in looking genuinely concerned. Entertainment became emergency in the blink of an eye. Joshua stood there calm and collected, living proof that boxing might be show business for some, but it's pure warfare for the fighters.
Congratulations on your win tonight in Miami. How are you feeling right now?
Calm, chilled, good to get a win, but there's a lot I could have done better. So, yeah, mixed emotions.
Like what?
Could have done a lot better, cut the ring off, maybe done what I done in the 6th, in the 3rd, in the 2nd, even in the 1st. But a win's a win. And that's why we're here talking now.
You talked about having the weight of the boxing world on your shoulders and like the purists, right?
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that type of pressure when the media is so fickle? 1 minute they love you, 1 minute they hate you. Do you feel that even though you won tonight, they're still not going to be pleased?
So with the media, how I operate the media is you got negative and you got positive. So I do honestly focus on the positive. I don't really focus on the negative. And secondly, I just understand that while I'm in the hot seat, so let's say there's a seat, and right now I'm elevated to that hot seat, I gotta take all the shit that comes with being in that hot seat, and then once I move on from that hot seat, no one's gonna care about me anyway. So I just gotta have a
That's not true.
It's true, it's how it goes. It's how it goes, so I know how it works. I understand the cycle. I'm currently in that motion. I'm dealing with some shit at the minute, but it won't last forever. Have some tough skin, and then in a couple of years, I'll be sitting back watching someone else deal with that shit.
Thank you,
Come on,
guys.
Chan, have some tough skin, you'll be alright.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you so much for
good
your
to
time
see you,
today.
Michelle.
The locker room scene went from shock to genuine panic mode. Rumors started flying immediately. Talk of permanent damage, complete jaw reconstruction, emergency airlift to trauma centers. Joshua, usually humble after victories, was brutally honest in his post-fight interview. He spoke about respecting every opponent while admitting his killer instinct demands total destruction. This wasn't just a technical win, this was annihilation made flesh, and that predator mentality went from abstract concept to concrete reality, requiring immediate surgery before any press conferences could happen.
Yeah, we think he broke his jaw, he's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower, he drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA, and I think the recovery time from the doctors and surgeons we've already talked to is 4 to 6 weeks.
Medical reports started leaking within hours, and the details were absolutely horrifying. We're talking compound fractures that went way beyond surface cuts or minor breaks. Complete structural failure of bone architecture. When those X-ray images hit social media, the internet exploded seeing the hardware and bone fragments confirming everyone's worst fears. The entertainment factor died instantly. This is what happens when you try jumping from making YouTube videos to fighting elite heavyweights. Paul kept talking tough about fighting again in 10 days, but medical reality painted a much grimmer picture of extensive reconstructive surgery potentially requiring months with his jaw wired shut.
According to Jake Paul, he stated he had to do surgeries. He broke his jaw on 2 different locations on both sides. He lost many teeth that he has to replace, or he replaced already. And after that, Jake called out Canelo. But he need to focus on Gervonta for real, because Canelo gonna do him dirty. With that being said, Jake said, quote, "Just got out of surgery. Everything went smooth. Thanks for all the love. A lot of pain and stiffness. Gotta eat liquid for 7 days, even on Christmas." So, to the amazing team of Miami University Hospital, everyone was so gracious and caring. Double broken jaw. Give me Canelo in 10 days. Jaw broken, heart and balls intact. Time to rest, recover, and return to cruiserweight. Okay, now that's a smart thing to do because he did fight a super heavyweight in AJ. But I don't think it's going to be any sweeter.
This brings us to the word being whispered behind closed doors: retirement. News outlets are pushing these conversations, and honestly, they're justified given the severity. When fighters take this kind of punishment, questions about their future become inevitable. Sure, retirement talk generates clicks, but the real issue is Paul's forced extended absence. You don't bounce back quickly from facial destruction like this. Time might have just run out. We've talked about disruption and determination, but even the strongest can't overcome shattered bone.
Done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron, is fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start, but as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia.
Everything remains up in the air right now. Paul's camp is staying predictably defensive. Logan Paul jumped into protective big brother mode, calling Jake unbreakable and insisting his fighting spirit survived intact. But boxing's cold truth shows us that fighting spirit alone doesn't win fights. Skill, conditioning, and physical durability do. The influencer boxing movement that seemed unstoppable just hit a wall it can't negotiate around. Everyone saw this coming eventually when promotional genius meets legitimate championship power. The only question was when it would happen.
Jake lost because of the size difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you. AJ talked about sucking out or taking out the man's soul. He didn't take out his soul. He did take out his energy, and that's when he was able to get the finish.
And just a quick follow-up. Obviously, we don't want to look too far into the future. I know you said Jake wants a break. He's going through some, he's coming off a tough fight. But, I mean, like, it seems written on the wall that that would be an obvious fight to, look forward to in the future. Could you see Jake versus Francis Ngannou?
The whole situation with Francis was very confusing to me. And he's done a couple of interviews, back and forth on terms of how he thought about our conversation. I think Francis is a revolutionary when it comes to fight sports. He stood up against the UFC, showed what kind of man he is. And this process was just, again, a little bit confusing for me, given who I know who he is as a human being.
Making everything more complicated was Tyson Fury's reaction. Instead of acknowledging Joshua's dominant performance, Fury chose mockery and provocation, claiming he would have finished the job even more brutally.
I am him, the man. I ain't a YouTuber or a man half your size. 37-year-old at the end of his career, fighting a YouTuber, a Disney Channel guy, who Tommy beat, and now he's talking about killing and all that to try and sell.
Okay.
Please. Barking up the wrong tree, idiot. You're a classless loser coming off a 15 months knockout defeat to a local lad. Imagine if someone from Morecambe knocked me out. If I ever come across you, bum, I'm knocking you back out. You big bum, useless tosser.
This is just standard heavyweight politics, but there's strange irony here. Paul's devastating loss actually fast-tracked potential Joshua versus Fury negotiations. Even in complete failure, Paul remains the catalyst driving major boxing developments, just from a hospital bed this time.
Fury, listen, we'll see you in September.
Is it realistic, you think? I mean,
The injury business generates massive profits, where controversy equals cash flow. According to basic entertainment economics, beyond the medical crisis and real questions about Paul's long-term health, rematch conversations started before the blood was cleaned up. There's sick curiosity about how people respond to career-threatening moments like this. Will Jake come back more realistic, or will the delusions return once the painkillers wear off? The business demands comeback stories, though physical reality might have other plans.
Jake Paul didn't get in there to win last night, he got in there to survive. And he didn't do a better job of surviving. He sold the fight brilliantly, that's what he is, he's a salesman. And he's a YouTuber, influencer, call him whatever you want. So from that perspective, he did his job, but he never got in there to win. He just got in there to get beat up. I'm glad Anthony Joshua done a number on him. This is why boxers are boxers, YouTubers, whatever they want to call themselves, influencers, you know, they should stay in their lane and fight people that they're supposed to fight on their level. This guy was never on Anthony Joshua's level, and Joshua did what he needed to do, did what he had to do for the sake of boxing, and blow this guy out and just knock him out.
What about the fact that Jake was able to land on him clean a couple of times? What did you make of that?
Oh, listen, you can't get into the water without getting hit. Fortunately for Joshua, that guy can't break an egg. So he was never in any danger. You know, he's always going to get hit back. I mean, you know, it was 6 rounds. Anthony Joshua was always going to take at least 1 or 2 shots over that 6-round period, but it was nothing to hurt him, it was nothing to bother him. And like I say, this is all about getting AJ's confidence back. Okay. If Jake Paul fights, if he fights KSI or KFC or whatever his name is, then those two are evenly matched, aren't they? They're evenly matched, and then they could fight, you know, and then because they're evenly matched, they're both YouTubers, aren't they? They should get that on. I'd probably stay up and watch that.
What went down was more than just losing a fight. This was hierarchy being enforced. Anthony Joshua proved that certain levels can't be bought with marketing budgets or social media followers. He showed that elite competition comes with permanent physical costs. Meanwhile, Jake Paul proved his willingness to face the absolute best, possibly accepting consequences that will mark him forever. The question isn't whether he can keep fighting, but whether he should.
TV, what did I just watch? All right? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is over. Thank God it's over. What a joke of a fight. I was hoping that I could at least give Jake credibility and saying, you know what, he took this challenge. You know, even if it's for a lot of money, he still had the guts to walk to the ring and all this stuff. I was hoping, you know, you're going to get knocked out anyway, dude. Like, I was hoping I could say, you know what, because he earned the respect of boxing fans by going out on his shield. Guy just ran for his life. I just watched Jake Paul run for his life for like 5-6 rounds. Literally just run for. He was doing football jukes. You guys watched that fight? Ring was big. I made a freaking point about that ring being big, and he used it to his advantage in terms of survival in every way he could. I mean, this guy literally never tried to win a second of the fight. He was trying to throw a home run punch every once in a while. Then notice every time he got in the clinch, he just went down. Like he just hugged Anthony Joshua, and then like would go down, and the referee would call it a slip and give him a break, and like he would just kill time that way. Then he was completely angling off. He's completely blading his shoulder off completely to the point where he's so bladed off that he can't even punch. He was just trying to make himself as small of a target as possible. And Anthony Joshua, people are gonna say, oh, why didn't Anthony Joshua catch up to him? Because Anthony Joshua never had fast feet to begin with, and Anthony Joshua honestly should have probably cut off the ring a little bit better. That's my one critique of Joshua. He probably could have cut off the ring a little bit better. Joshua's always never really had the best feet, but in terms of cutting off the ring, could have at least done that. But honestly, what do you want the guy to do? I mean, this guy ran for his life in a 22 by 22 foot ring. That ring was huge. I can't believe what I just watched, guys. I'm seriously, like, dude, that's it. That's it. This was AJ's chance. Could have went out on his shield and his chance to say, yeah, get the respect of the boxing community. This was the one that could have got him the respect of the boxing community. This was the one. He came out with all these rap crap and doing the Hulkamania crap and all that other stuff and all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, is he that calm, or is he literally just setting up his own demise? I mean, I don't know. AJ came out to the ring really serious, which would you expect? And then, I mean, he never fought. Jake never fought. Like, he never fought the whole fight.
As things settle down, we're seeing boxing's dual nature on full display. One corner has a heavyweight champion calling out his biggest rival, his legacy enhanced. The other shows a young man who tried conquering the world, now facing harsh truths about physical limits and serious soul searching. Ambition drives greatness, but can become a prison. Was the massive payday and global attention worth permanent facial reconstruction? Some call it bravery. Others see it as a warning. Either way, this polarizing figure faces problems that can't be solved with words. That wraps up today's breakdown. If this added value, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more content. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Catch you on the next one.